What's up, laziness is back at it again, and let's just start with this review. So they start off with this really cool Templar kind of ritualistic sacrifice, and this turns out to be a big plan. But I gotta say, guys, this episode was terrible, man. After 9 episodes of suffering, I'm finally caught up. But man, this is like the nail in the coffin. Anyways, like, don't get me wrong, the scene was good, the setup was good, but the execution, horrible. Typically, Orhan does the same exact face for everything. His mom dies, this is his face. The tribe gets conquered, this is his face. They finally finish the siege of Bursa, this is his face. He beats up Vasilius, this is his face. This guy, Abdurrahman Alp, literally, the show's hanging by a thread, and he is that thread. And we finished off last episode with these guys being in a trap, but suddenly they come out of it with bombs. How? How, bro? They just pull this stuff out of there. Like, can they not think of better and more tactical, like, ways that they can get out of these traps? Can they not think of smarter, more intelligent, more intricate ways that these heroes can save themselves? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. They just keep teasing us. They keep doing the bait and switch every single time. Big battle, bait and switch. Big trap, bait and switch. Our heroes are in trouble, bait and switch. It's so bad, it's so lazy. Nah, I can't lie. This guy, again, he's outshining Orhan. All of his reactions, his facial expressions, his aura, his presence, he is really, really good. And to top it off, he's the only character with nuance, a multi-layered character with so many different aspects of his, like, being, right? He has the backstory with him and his father. He's being betrayed by Saros. He's in love with Fatima. He is also a person who wants to protect his city, and he is very loyal to, the Byzantium, and he's the only multi-layered, multifaceted character. That's why he's carrying the show. And then we get this nonsense. This tiny little princess kills like 5 or 6, I counted, 5, 6, maybe 7 Templars, like supposedly the most brutal guys, the most brutal, like, Christian extremist warriors that they have. And suddenly they just get beat up by this chick. It's just so damn annoying. The story with Malhan is actually pretty good. I like how last episode they showed her reflecting about how being the mother of the tribe is a very tough job. I can't tell whether all of these shows of power are her trying to show that she is still the top dog, you know what I mean, in terms of being the Ana of the tribe, the mother of the tribe, or if she's really trying to, like, deliver some hard lessons towards her kind of heirs in a sense. But her story is fine. Always good to see Boran and Jerkatai on the screen, my 2 favorite side elves, especially Boran. The most confusing scene I have ever seen in my entire life, and I've watched 9 episodes of Kurulus Orhan, so that is saying something. So how this starts off is Flavius tells the Templar that he's gonna poison the Emperor in order to show his loyalty. The Emperor that he's been trying to kill since the beginning, and then they had him in a cave, and then he goes and meets him in a cave, and then he lets him live, and then he tells Flavius again, hey, we need to replace this guy, and then Flavius poisons him, like, kind of poisons him. The dude, like, drinks it and spits it out, and he's like, the hell, did you just try to poison me? And then this guy comes out of nowhere, and he's like, hey, good job, you passed the test. And it's like, what's happening? Do you want to kill him or do you not? What is the goal here? What is the plan? What is the vision? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then why the hell does the Emperor not have, like, 10,000 soldiers in here guarding him? It just makes no sense, guys. I just don't understand. Like I said, guys, he just got stabbed in the back of his shoulder, and this is his reaction. Everything. This is his reaction to everything. Also, why did the rest of the show continue and we forgot he got stabbed in the back of the shoulder? Like, do injuries not matter in this show? Do injuries not exist in this show? Are people, like, I feel like the only thing that makes sense is that different people are writing consecutive scenes in the show, and they're not all aligned, so they forgot, or there was nobody told the next person writing the next piece of the script that he just got stabbed. It just doesn't make sense, guys. The scenes where Samsa Chavush from Timu and blah 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 Alp make fun of Abdurrahman Alp because of the whole that Byzantine chick, I forgot her name, pretending to be in love with this dude, are just hilarious. Again, Dursun, one of my favorite characters. He should have been Orhan. Every single time I see him on screen, I'm like, this is the dude right here. But I like his story. I'm really interested to see. They finally confirmed that he is actually the son of Karasi, which is one of the larger Beyliks at the time. And so it's going to be a very, very interesting dynamic to see his comeback. He's probably going to come back and meet up the Kai tribe with a huge, huge portion of the Karasi tribe. As you know, they're all kind of competing for land to try to be like the next empire, the next, what do you call it? Like Khalifa or something like that. So yeah. This dude's starting to get pathetic. I can see his betrayal coming from a mile away, 100 miles away, and I can kind of it's a little justified, low key. You have Fatima Hatun, who is falling for a merchant, some random merchant who's gonna turn out to be their most sacred enemy, Flavius, and she is obviously gonna stay in love with him. So I can see he's him and his father have a valid crash outs. You know what I mean? They're showing Aladdin as the proper administrative leader of this Beylik / soon to be empire. I like these. I like when he gets these scenes where he has agency, where he is kind of dangerous with the pen rather than the sword. And yeah, he has the actor has a big frame, so of course he should be a good fighter too. But the pen is stronger than the sword, and Aladdin is definitely the pen. Disgusting, despicable, nasty, unforgivable desecration and disgrace. No way they fed us Goyslop. They used AI for the flashbacks, and it was disgusting. It threw me off. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this. Finally, Orhan doing something that he's supposed to. So in this scene, we see these two beys who have been prevalent in the show, in a lot of the councils and meetings. And the thing is, alright, this was kind of a waste. And if they had to kill these two off at this particular moment, that would have been fine if they actually established these characters a little more, because we had only seen them as kind of background characters or supporting characters with not a lot of lines. But you can see their armor, their looks, the way their beards are shaped, everything, they're very distinctive, right? And that's a clear sign that these should be kind of main characters. However, they gave them maybe 2 or 3 lines to establish them, and then they get absolutely destroyed. And for me, I was like, okay, why are there so many beys at the Kai Council, right? Obviously Osman, Orhan, Aladdin, they're kind of the leaders of the Kai tribe, right? Maybe, and we see a lot of the new Kai tribe, right? And they're probably the ones who mainly manage that tribe. But then we also realize later on in this episode, we see there's an old Kai tribe, and maybe it could have been kind of denoted or shown that these two lead that tribe, right? Because obviously, as you expand, you need to leave leaders in the different nodes of the tree of your kind of empire or entity, whatever you're building, right? And so it would have been better if they established these characters so that their death or that this scene could have hit a little harder. By the way, this dude right here has been a background character since I think the Orhan days, and he's really, really good. He designs the costumes, I think, and yeah, he's a cool guy. Nice to see that they gave Acoustic Templar a few scenes and lines and whatnot. He definitely plays the role really well. I can see this guy being as a really sadistic and intelligent character. He reminds me of Dragos. I kind of praised Flavius and his story, his love story a little bit the last few reviews, but I cannot lie, it's just getting too much at this point, right? They're overdoing it. This is starting to feel like a soap opera, right? A really dramatic love story, and it's I feel like we're getting more love scenes than action scenes, historic scenes, battle scenes, political scenes, and it's kind of not that good. I cannot take it seriously when you have a Hatun commanding a bunch of warriors, beys, and that kind of thing. And my boy Turhan got cucked. He got absolutely disrespected, and he just took it. Oh my gosh, man, why? I love this dude. I love the way he walked into the Templar's nest and spit in their faces. This guy is Aura. This guy right here, my favorite villain. I love Mongols just for this reason. This dude will go and treat everybody the way he wants to. He always shows that he is the dominating force, and I need to see more development of this character, and I need to see him with a big Mongol army, and I need to see him cause a bunch of chaos and destruction. I mean, come on. Plus, he's a very Machiavellian character, right? He's not your typical Mongol who's just big and strong and just throws his weight around. Yeah, I mean, he does that a little bit, which is good, but he also shows a lot of intelligence, very slow, sly, and smart with the moves that he takes. So this character is very well done. Again, his real history. I gotta do a video on his real history because he's one of the most interesting characters of that time period, in my opinion. Again, another confusing thing. How did these people just walk into soooooo all willy nilly, right? I understand that they kind of collaborated, made a plan, and said, "Yeah, we'll let you guys come in and do your thing." And I don't know exactly the details, but still, they should not be able to just walk in like that. That's number one. Number two, one thing that I'm a bit confused about. So does this dude know that the merchant is Flavius? Does he not? Does he know, or does he not know? I'm pretty sure he does. And on top of that, if he knows, then why hasn't he told Fatima, or why hasn't he kind of sabotaged their little love story? Man, this guy is so sad. He gets friend zoned to the bottom of the barrel, and then he gets beat up by the enemy who took the heart of his own kinsman. And yeah, if I was this dude, I'd become the biggest traitor, especially because Aladdin just let it happen too. They displayed this as the old tribe, but I'm pretty sure it's literally the exact same tribe that they've been showing. They didn't even put any effort to actually build another tribe. If they're gonna be constantly showing us that there's a new tribe and an old tribe, then why not build another tribe? This was a really nice scene. Osman dreams of the conquest of Bursa being successful, and he walks in, he sees his buddies, they're all happy, but then he sees a lot of them are sad, they're mourning, and they mourn his death, and he sees his own death, and honestly, it was a good scene, it was a very well done scene. One cool little tidbit, little fun fact, is that the portrayal of this siege is actually really, really accurate. From what I've read, it was, obviously Bursa was sitting at the bottom of a mountain, right, which is exactly what you see here. And then it was pretty big like this, and then the actual siege itself was almost exactly like what we see here, which is you see the all those you see all that the wood with the sticks, the pointy sticks, and then the little catapults. So something that I read is that the way the siege had gone was there was a circle of this. The entire castle was encircled like this, and they show in the show, they basically blocked off any food, aid, reinforcements, and these catapults that they have. So the Ottomans didn't have any, trebuchets at the time, which is huge devices that launch big stones, and so that's why they can't really crack the walls. But which is kind of interesting because what did they have? What did they show during the conquest of Inigo? I gotta read about that because in Osman they had these huge catapults, right? Not catapults, trebuchets. So I guess I'd have to read a little more into what determines whether something is a trebuchet or a catapult. But anyways, they had little catapults like this. They would just kind of harass defenders and that kind of thing. So yeah, I just wanted to say I did the reading, I did the research, and the depiction of the siege of Bursa is very historically accurate in terms of what you see here. Not the way that it was executed in the show, but this visual. 100% nepotism. This guy is paying the production crew $30,000 to $40,000 an episode. He's paying them for clout. I'm 100% sure this is what it is. It's a mutually beneficial relationship where this guy pays the production crew for clout, and he looks good for his I think he's a musician or something like that. I mean, why the hell is he not old? Why does he not have gray hair at least? Once again, we see Osman faint once again. I mean, guys, rule of thumb in a movie, TV show, production, writing, you don't repeat stuff. You know what I mean? What was the point of this? I told you guys, he should have died the moment Orhan became Bey. And Orhan should not have become Bey until halfway through the season. These writers are so effing confused. And this is where I'm going to finish it off. Again, very disappointing. Bait and switch once again. They show us two large armies coming at each other, and then suddenly you have Orhan and 6 of his Alps who go and confront this entire army. I know there's a trap or whatever, right? I understand, but I highly doubt that they're going to give us a big battle scene. I highly doubt it, right? Something is going to happen. That's number one. And number two, somebody explain to me, right, why Orhan and 6 or 7 of his Alps chanting sounded a lot louder than this 300 or 4, maybe 5, or maybe thousands of soldiers chanting. What on earth are these people thinking, bro? Anyways, guys, very disappointing episode. By the way, a little hint, a little rumor that I've heard spreading around is that they have a 2-week break, And they're saying it's because of New Year's, but also Bozdak kind of claimed that they are rewriting or changing the direction of the script. And also I've also heard that the main actor is about to leave the show due to creative differences. Honestly, this is just tragic. They, like I've said before, they should have waited, right? 6 months to get their stuff together, write a good script, find good actors, and also name the show like Sultan Orhan. Why did they do Kurulus again? Anyways, it's just I don't know how much longer this is gonna last, guys. Yeah, Happy New Year.